I wanted to take advantage of probably the last night for a while that I'll have the place to myself and record a video for you guys. Um, First off, I want to show off my nails. Aren't those cool? Um, we we sold these at work. They were a while ago. It's called Salon Chrome Effect, and they come in like different colors, and it's really cool. It's like a 4-step kind of program. Well, first off, you got Black EO, which is the gosh, I can't even talk. Which is the nail color. Then you got the glitter. You put on 2 coats of that. Then you put on the glitter stuff, and the glitter tends to get everywhere. But you just put on a little bit. I like using just like a eyeshadow applicator. And then you put this stuff on. And that's supposed to get the chrome effect. And then you put on the top coat. So, and that gives you the kind of the cool little jeweled shiny effect, which I really like. It's my new favorite nail polish, even though it takes a while to get it all working properly. Let's see. Work is interesting. It's getting a lot better than it was, and I have to really thank our new leadership team, because we got a new store manager, and we've got 2 new shift leads, and 1 new assistant manager, so which is good. I get along fairly well with most of the new staff. There's one that I'm not sure about, and she's the only female management position that we have, manager type person that we have now. Basically, well, let me tell you a little bit of the story. So, last night, I had the day off today, but I worked yesterday till like 10. And so last night, I get there, just start bumming around because there really wasn't anything to do in cosmetics. And so I'm just kind of a bit, and all of a sudden this female shift lead comes up to me, and she's like, so the gal who was supposed to come in and work and be the cashier, is not coming in. And so instead of asking me, instead of saying, do you mind, she was just like, you're up front. So I'm like, okay, that's fine, So I'm up front, and things go reasonably well. Although I do have to say that this female lead is not very good at responding to IC3s. You have to keep in mind that with this one gal who was supposed to be the cashier being gone, there was just 3 of us. One gal to work in photo, the shift lead, and me. So, at 5 o'clock when Terry left, There was just three of us. And which was fine, but it frustrates me because here's the thing, and here's what I've discovered to be true. This may be different for different people, but like when I'm up front, like let's pretend I'm behind the register here, and the register's off here, this is the counter where people put their stuff. A lot of times, because, we always try to, like, the cashier always gets the first, I'm going to call them 4 to 5 aisles in the store. Like, here's the register, and over here a little ways are going to be aisles 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and so on. Well, whoever's the cashier usually gets assigned the first 4 to 5 aisles in the store, which goes from skincare, feminine care, baby care, and then 2 rows of candy, and then the seasonal aisle, which is kind of weird because, let me put it this way, after Valentine's Day, it kind of becomes a summer aisle, basically, because after Valentine's Day, there's really no holidays that are really as important. It's like Valentine's Day is like the last, big holiday. And even then, sometimes it's not really. It just kind of depends on people, what people will buy, that kind of thing. So basically, what happens is, like I said, my main job last night as a cashier was to ring people up. Now, that means that in the few times that we're not busy, that I don't have a line of customers, or I don't have somebody at my register, that I need to go out and face, and I need to try and put as many go backs back as I can. And go backs are basically, we have 2 boxes up behind the register. One is, like, let's say you bring up one of these, and I ring it up and say, oh, that's $8, and you're like, oh, I don't want it, I thought it was $4, or whatever. And so then I put it in my box, and at the end of the night, if I'm able to, if I'm able to, I usually end up going and putting that stuff back, especially if I'm working past 10 o'clock. Now, last night, I was not working past 10. And we had somebody who was staying. So I didn't do that. But I still will try to put or if I'm up front and I'm at the second register or whatever, I'll try to come over, grab what I can from cosmetics, and go put that away. But the problem is, and it seems to happen a lot, is that I'll be behind the register. I'll be going along doing, I'll be ringing people up. Then we'll get a break. And I'll go to face, or I'll, have a few things in my hand from the go back box. And I'll be trying to put that away. Well, the problem is, I can't. Is that, especially on some nights, we're busy enough that if I go to take a step out from behind the register, I'll only get like 2 steps away, and then somebody will come up or whatever. And, that's fine. And also sometimes, and this kind of tends to irritate me a little bit, but like, we had a galleon photo last night, and they have a register over there. They can ring people up. I've rung people up in photo before, even those that haven't picked up photos or anything, because that was the only register available, and I was out on the floor somewhere. So, and that was the other thing, was last night, she kept sending most of her customers, she'd hand off the photos or whatever, but she would send them up to me to buy them. And I'm like, okay. And again, I don't mind. Most of the time, I'm up front. I realize I'm going to be pretty much stuck up front. That's, I don't like it. It's not my favorite position in the store, but whatever. Every once in a while, I can handle it. It's fine. But what really irritated me was the gal who was the shift lead came up to me, and keep in mind I'd been up there for a while by now, and there'd been a couple times where I've hit the IC3 button, I've hit the backup button, and nobody showed up. And it's like, I understand you've got to count the drawers, I understand you got the stuff you got to do. However, I'm doing you a favor by taking a position for the night that I was not intending on taking. So, yeah, it can be irritating. But anyway, so she came walking up to me, and I thought she would. I didn't know. I didn't know what she was going to say. Although I kind of hoped she was going to say, hey, hit the IC3 button, call me if you need help, blah, 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 I'm going to be in the office. No. What she said was, Julie, tonight you need to get the go backs done. And I'm like, I told her I would do my best, and that was all I could do. Because, like I said, at that point, I'd fully realized that it was going to be one of those nights where I couldn't get away from the register. And that's fine, that happens sometimes. It just also irritates me because it's like, because corporate right now is just, they're starting to panic because it's getting toward the end of the year. And they're like, we've got to focus on sales, especially cosmetics. We got to get every sale we can over there. And it's like, number one, they're not always going to buy cosmetic stuff over there. And number two, what am I supposed to do? Go up to that line, only help the people who have cosmetic items in their hand? No. But yeah, so I kind of brushed that off because it's just kind of like, yeah, whatever, you're just, But here's the other weird thing. I have not seen our district manager in like a really long time. And because normally, or at least earlier this year, there are times he'd be over at our place like every couple weeks. And now it's like, I think it's been probably about 5 or 6 months and I haven't seen him. So, of course, that doesn't mean he hasn't been there. That just probably means that he hasn't been there on a day when I've been working. So, but I don't know. I guess I just find it weird that. I mean, I'm glad we have a new store manager. I'm glad we have new leads and all that. And like I said, for the most part, they're great. But, well, here's the other thing. And I may have told you guys this already, but the female shift lead, let's put it this way. I've seen her over, just chatting and having a good old time with Terry. And y'all know what troubles I've been having with Terry. Which in itself isn't a bad thing. But there was one time, my gosh, I think it was about a week ago now. I was at work and Terry and I walked in and Terry was in the break room. I greeted her like I normally do and she was like, "What did you forget?" And, I was like, "I don't know, what did I forget?" And she was like, "The keys were in the drawer." And I was like, "I gave them to the guy who was the closing manager the night before." And she was like, "Well, they're not in the drawer. I don't know where they are. It's a good thing I made the extra copy." And so I'm like, "Well, good for you, Hopefully we'll find them. Because I didn't take them home. And of course, after she keeps asking me, "Are you sure? Are you sure?" I start feeling bad. So, so I went in and I talked to the female shift lead who was also working that day. And she told me that Terry had been talking to her about how Terry doesn't think that I'm getting stuff done. And that pissed me off because I was like, she hasn't said a word to me. She hasn't said, and this is the thing that bugs me about Terry. She acts, like she's your best friend. She's been asking me questions. She's been asking me, "Oh, so how's it going with the fairy trees? And, have you heard anything yet?" And just chatting like everything's perfectly fine. And it's like, I've always told Terry, I've always told everybody I work with, if you have a problem with me, if you need to tell me something, please feel free to tell me. Or write a note for me. But no, Terry's got to go behind my back and talk to somebody about it. And it's funny, because at the time I didn't think anything bad about the shift lead about it. I was just like, well, maybe I'll talk to Mike about this because, and I told her some of the stuff that had been going on since I started at the Johnson store. And, and at the time, I was just like, I was focused on what Terry had said. And then going away, and then today I was like, well, wait a minute. This gal, not Terry, but the shift lead that I talked to, is part of management. Shouldn't she have come and gotten my side of the story when Terry had been talking to her about me? And she didn't. She never did. And the funny thing was, I mentioned talking to Mike, and she was like, "Oh yeah, we'll set that up. We'll do that on Monday or whatever." And never happened. Never got brought up again. So now I have another person on my can't trust list. And it sucks. Because because there's more people. I don't know. I don't know right now. It's just I'm kind of gradually edging toward the hey, there is more people I can trust. Because I've talked to Tim. I've talked to Tim about stuff. I raised some concerns with him. I've talked to Andrew, who's the other shift lead, and he's great. He always makes sure to thank me. Because, well, let me put it this way. I've been working a lot of hours with a couple of the new gals who are a lot younger than I am. Basically teenage age and just right out of teenagehood. And, neither of them will stay late, even though more than one of us are scheduled to work till like 10:30. They'll normally take off at like 10. And stuff like that. So Andrew makes me feel appreciated. Andrew makes sure that I'm at least thanked for what I do. And he's made it known that he appreciates me. And I think that's great. I love that. I mean, let me put it this way. It's a little too late to be asking for a raise because I don't know how much longer I'm going to be there. Be at the store, be working for Walgreens. So I don't know, it's like I don't necessarily feel comfortable asking for a raise, especially considering it's probably only going to be for another month or two. But at the same time, it is nice to actually be appreciated. But I feel like with this other shift lead, that she just doesn't. That she just is gonna naturally assume that I'm going to be. And it was funny because normally, even though I'm scheduled till 10, normally I'll stay. Because we need to finish facing, or there's go backs to go back, or whatever. And I'll be like, yeah, I'll stay, I'll finish up out here. Will you guys count the last drawer, or whatever. But with the way I felt last night, I was just like, you know what? No, I'm going home. Especially since I hadn't been feeling good. I mean, I caught a cold and just had some not so good symptoms. But I went to work. I went to work that night, even though I wasn't feeling good. And I powered through, standing on my feet all night, not getting a chance to really sit much, that kind of thing. And like I said, I just don't feel like it meant anything. I don't feel like I was appreciated at all. I didn't get thanked. I just get told what to do. And it's like, I don't know. From the way the female chef lead treated me, I just got the feeling like she just up and believed Terry over me. And whatever, it's a he said, she said kind of thing. And that's whatever. It's not fine, but I can deal with it. But let me just put it this way, I would so much rather close with anybody else than with this gal. Because most of our other management staff, you hit the IC3 button, they're up there. Like that. And they're just like, oh, hey, covering and run to do price checks and helping on the floor. I didn't see her out on the floor at all, only then a couple of brief times. And that's fine, whatever. But it's like, don't treat me like don't boss me around like I'm one of the younger, newer staff. Because I've done this before. I've done this for 3 years altogether. So don't boss me around. Treat me like a member of the team and I will work my butt off for you. But, you treat me like I need to be told what to do. I need somebody looking over my shoulder. Well, that was the other thing. I told you guys how I feel kind of isolated out here. Well, I feel kind of isolated at work sometimes too. And it's like, most of the time it's fine because I'm over in cosmetics. I can talk to the customers who come over to my area. Or I can talk to whoever's wandering around, that kind of thing. But when I'm up front, like I said, I'm stuck up there, number one. And number two, it just seems like when I'm up front, the customers don't want to talk. They just want to buy their stuff and go. Which, hey, I understand. I mean, there's times I'm in a hurry. There's times I'm just running in to get, like, one thing or whatever. But still, I always try to be polite. I always try to be at least, kind and courteous. But whatever. But anyway, it just irritates me. Because, like, when any of the other management teams there, they always are like, if they leave before I do, they always go, bye, Julie, or whatever. Or, if they're the closing management, they always, make sure I know, they always are like, hey, I'm going to be in the office for a while, or I'm going to be out on the floor, I'm going to be straightening the back, But nope, this female shift lead just kind of left me on my own. And so I'm just like, okay, whatever. So there's times I feel like Terry's trying to turn management against me. And I feel like so far she's only managed to do one person versus, I don't know. I used to feel like everybody in that store had it in for me. And now I'm not so sure. Now I think we've got a decent staff. And not to say that this female lead does everything bad, because she doesn't. But it's just the whole, because she probably believes Terry's version over my version. And that sucks. because, you know, you're part of management. You should probably hear both sides before making a determination, before just deciding, oh, well, Terry must be right. It must be this person's fault. No? But anyway, so that's pretty much it, you guys. Still haven't heard anything about the marriage visa. We're still waiting to hear back from the solicitor lawyer person. I will keep you guys updated. In the meantime, I'm just working on my own stuff, trying to express my creativity in any way I can. So this may be the last time I get to talk to you guys for a while, because I work, tomorrow night, and then I think Mom and Dad are back on Saturday. Although maybe Sunday, I'm not really sure. It's either Saturday or Sunday they'll be back. But, yeah, so I'll keep you guys updated. I'll let you know as soon as possible once I hear anything. And thanks for letting me ramble today, guys. I will talk to you later. Bye.